Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here once again to do another Star Wars: The Bad Batch review. Let's see, episode 9 of the second season, The Crossing. And this episode is is sort of a direct follow-up from the last two-parter, in which Echo has left the Bad Batch squad after deciding that he wants to help Rex. Help as many of those clone brethren who are now going to be discarded by the Empire, or in the long term discarded by Empire as much as possible. Let's see. And as we saw from the last episode, Echo is having a hard time dealing with it. Let's see and find out how they handle it, how the squad functions without Echo. This episode. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, after that brief summary, onto the actual episode. Let's see, the 25th over of the Bad Batch. So, yeah. Let's see. The Bad Batch landed with the Miranda on a planet. Let's see. It's a planet that Sid has from a mining area that Sid has purchased that has something called Ipsian. For those who probably know that it's some sort of like crystal fuel substance thing. Let's see. It's apparently on a. Well, it's no idea what planet it's on. It's in fact it's just been introduced in this episode, but yeah, Sid has purchased it, and from what Tech explains, it can be used like a thermal detonator. Let's see. Wrecker's excited, of course, but Tech is just busy in sealing the mine. Hunter pays attention to the storm outside, but realizes that it's not in their position, so they can proceed on the mission, and has Omega and Wrecker serve as, the sentries on guard duty, if you will. Tech sort of disagrees with assessment since Echo has left. They are a man down, so let's see. Given the fact that they needed someone like Echo inside the mine, they might need someone like Wrecker to come along with them. But Omega agrees to do the lookout by herself, but Hunter warns her that it's probably best that, given the fact he's heard about poachers here from Sid, it's best to Wrecker stays with to guard Omega, which, to be fair, if I was in Hunter's position, I'd probably do the same thing, since Wrecker is a strong man, and let's see, he makes up more for just protecting Omega by himself. So yeah, there's that. So yeah. Hunter and Echo go in, but the Bad Batch do not realize that there's a masked figure who is scanning them for his own macro binoculars, if you will. But anyway, while Hunter and Tech are inside, as Tech is scanning, he can't really find any of the mines, thinking that Sid has been scanned with a depleted mine of Epsium. While Hunter still digs, and eventually they end up finding a faint substance, but they're difficult to reach and they can't extract it. So they need someone to dig it. And Tech has an idea, which during this time, Omega is talking to Wrecker about how she misses Echo being around. But Wrecker tries to assure her that she'll get used to it. But you can probably tell from Omega's face that she doesn't think that's the case. But anyway, Hunter contacts them saying that they need Omega to help them extract him inside the mine, or at least tell her to come in and all that stuff. As Tech's instructing her how to drill and all that stuff, warning her not to cause it to explode. That if she does it wrong, it'll explode. Given its mineral's violent nature. But yeah, she begins to drill quite well, has managed to be able to extract a yellow Ipson rod and all that stuff, and enough to put into the entire canister they bring. So yeah, pretty much it's, from what I can tell from the summary I've described so far, this is rather a simple mission, pretty much, just to extract some fuel source. It's a new original one, but yeah. But it works. It's the sort of MacGuffin they need to get the plot going. and what they need to do for their mission and all that stuff. So yeah, I like how Taka is analyzing the fact that now that we're manned down with Echo, they probably need to be careful how they use their manpower, and probably do need additional support in with Rekka, since let's see, they now technically only have really 3 clones that can do full-on combat, since Omega's a kid, and you do try to see Omega try to then defend herself and say let her try and help out and try not to burden the squad as much as possible, trying to guard herself. But of course, Hunter, tries to make sure that's not the case. But yeah. But I do like how Tech seems to compliment that Sid might have just got scanned, but Hunter insists they dig deep and they do find some, so I do like that. I do like how this ends up bringing Omega in because she likes to be as helpful as possible in the mission. But I do like that it also gave enough time for Omega to start building up on how she misses Echo when talking with Rekka. I think she'll get over it, but eventually. But yeah. But I do know. But anyway. But as for the sort of mysterious masked individual, it's clear that he is interested in stealing. It's clear that he's going to cause trouble for the Bad Batch, and we're probably about to find out right as I continue. As he notices like the Marauder, and it's clear that he intends to steal it. Given the fact he approaches it on a speed bike, and is being very careful not to be heard or seen. But yeah, let's see. But anyway, they managed to extract all of the isopinium, if you will, with also warning them that the storm seems to be changing. So with Tech realizing that the weather on this planet is irregular, so they have what they came for, so they should return to the Ord Mantell. However, he starts to hear that that the masked individual has stolen their ship, and they try to chase it for a bit, but it's already too late. Or at least they look like they're about to, but Hunter gets angry at Rekka for not paying attention to the sentry duties, but Rekka saying that he didn't see anyone there, but Tex then starts arguing with him, with Omega saying that they need to try and retrieve the Marauder, but Tex is ignoring her and just continues to argue with Rekka on how he could miss a ship being compromised, if you will. But Rekka accuses the others of distracting him, but as they're doing that, and I think he also points out like how on earth was he able to keep watch of a ship that was out of range because of the way he parked. But of course, Tech defends himself. But yeah, but as a result, but Hunter senses the storm coming, so they need to try and go to the nearest town for shelter. And Tech is able to find a spaceport 40 clicks south from the mine, thinking that they could get a ship there. So as they start traveling, you have Rekka complaining about the distance. Rekka just says they're nearly there and all that stuff. While Hunter's leading them through the canyon, if you will, Omega is trying to contact Omega, but Hunter says that he's also too far away. But Tech, let's see, perhaps maybe insensitively reveals that Echo has probably disabled his communication device, since he's probably on arguably a sensitive mission, which, no surprise, he isn't with Rex and all that stuff. But this clearly sort of troubles Omega, if you will. But while they, traveling, they get ambushed by a group of, blue antelope-like alien creatures, if you will. Well, antelope creatures, really. But yeah. The clones quickly grapple, but Tech has Rekka stay behind to guard the ice canister just in case it could explode from the whole thing. And this causes them to argue, Tech and Rekka to argue a bit more, which Rekka ends up saying, Tech, why don't you just carry it if you're so concerned? So yeah. I do like how for this bit, I like how you're getting a build up between Rekka and Tech arguing. It's kind of like with one last member of the squad gone. They can't afford to have errors, and as a result, they're blaming each other a bit. getting on each other's nerves. And it wouldn't surprise because Tech is the smart one, Rekka is the more the muscle, less intelligent one, if you will. So they're probably bound to clash a bit now and then. But I do like how it results in them arguing about who should be responsible for the canister thing. Other than that, I do like how Omega's is desperately trying to contact, let's see, Echo for help, but Hunter's tried to be sensitive, but Tech is being too far blunt with, you know, the how should I say, let's see, the fact that Echo is too busy on missions now, so he's probably disabled their communications so they don't get compromised. But yeah, but he clearly cannot seem to read the room about how upset Omega is at the moment. Anyway, as for the Blue Antelope thing, I felt that they were a bit unoriginal and not as creative as you usually see from your normal Star Wars universe, but they do their purpose. In many ways, it kind of reminded me of The Lion King, but yeah. But yeah. So, yeah, the clones end up trying to flee further down the canyon to dealing with the storm. Whoops. And they end up, let's see, Tech spotting another mine and they get inside. But Tech accidentally drops the ice canister, and as a result, the thunder comes in, strikes down, causing it to explode. And the canyon's all over there. The clones try to retreat. One of them asks where it is at first, but it's too late, and they are trapped inside the debris. Okay, I probably just repeated that twice. I just realized. Sorry about that, people. And at this point, let's see. As they're now trapped, and Tech pointing out they have now lost the ice, and they can't really get out. But he starts to blame Rekka, and they start arguing a bit. Let's see, given the fact about the ship and the minerals. So, yeah, but Hunter, being the sort of ritzy peacemaker, intervenes and convinces them they have to try and dig their way out for the time being, which of course gets them to agree. Particularly Rekka, as they're removing the rock's derbises. Let's see, during this time, Omega's trying to, let's see, get the Marauders transpond the signal to relay to them, but it realizes that it doesn't work and panics at this. But Tech tries to calm her down, saying that it's likely to be disabled by the thief, with just Rekka complaining about the whole situation. As I recall, he probably did point towards Rekka. I will probably say in this planet, I think, Ritzy, when the first shot of it with the Marauder riding, I will admit, it was a very well Ritzy, beautifully done scene. I thought it looked very realistic for a second, but it might have just been my eyes playing tricks on me. But yeah, I will admit the canyon designs look pretty well colored and ritzy detailed. So I'll give the Ritzy Bad Batch crew thumbs up for the designs there. So yeah, but Omega is just concerned about how they're going to track their ship. Let's see, but Hunter says that they should just prioritize and digging her out of the mine, with Tech saying that that it's likely that they're not going to see the Marauder again, and they might as well just move on. But Omega doesn't want to lose hope of the ship, but Tech just casually just says how they can just acquire another ship, which logically makes sense, but it's clear that Omega is just not really emotionally dealing with it as let's see, as she reveals the Marauder as their home, and doesn't really want to lose it. Not like how they lost Echo, but Hunter tries to explain that they haven't really lost Ritzy Echo. He's just doing a different mission. But she tries to say that that's not the point. He's not here with them, and they're supposed to be a squad. But Tech tries to counter that by saying how the Bad Batch Ritzy existed before Echo, and they'll be able to continue to exist without him and all that stuff. And he goes on, but Ritzy insensitively ends up asking her what her problem is or issue with the whole thing. But This, of course, upsets Omega, and she tosses the device towards him, walking away saying she wants to be alone, telling the others not to follow him. But Tech tries to be a bit defensive towards the other two, are looking at him, saying that he just said the truth. But Hunter points out that she's upset because she does know that this is the truth and all that stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I do like how despite the fact that Tech and Wrecker were arguing earlier, it ended up being Tech that dropped the ship. If you drop the supply thing, causing an explosion. And this, of course, causes Wrecker and Tech to argue a bit more. But of course, I do like how Hunter's the peacemaker. But I do like how Omega is, let's see, reacting and wanting to get them order back. And while yes, it's a ship, let's see, I can understand her being attached as a kid. I mean, I was probably attached to a few things that probably could be easily replaced that I didn't need to get upset about, but I can understand how, let's see, given the fact that she views it as like her home and all that stuff, to be fair, it probably is, as that's how they're able to transport. And I would probably, not going to lie, I would probably miss that ship as well, because it's quite useful from what we've seen with the last few seasons, the last two seasons, the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars episodes. So yeah, it's a pretty good ship. And one that's helped them escape the Empire quite a bit, so it'd be quite difficult for them to not have a ship. Granted, from the way the Mandalorian got rid of the Razor Crest, I wouldn't be surprised that if all Star Wars shows get rid of ships now and then. I mean, after all, Dave Filoni eventually tossed away the Twilight. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but I wouldn't mind if they keep this ship. But then again, I can understand logically getting a new one might be beneficial, as it would be one that the Empire wouldn't recognize, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, but I do like how Wrecker tries to be sensitive to Omega's worries, but Tech is just so thinking too much on a logical standpoint that he doesn't understand how to handle it sensitively. And as a result, Ritchie ends up just upsetting Omega more and all that stuff, even though she knows it's the truth. But yeah. Let's see. But anyway, Omega just travels down the mine and all that stuff. And then she eventually notices a blue light with like an Yimsium once she turns off her lamp. And she starts drilling for it and all that stuff as she gets an idea of what she can, let's see, that she can use the substance here, the Yimsium here, with the vials that she still has. Meanwhile, you have the Bad Batch still working on the debris with Wrecker still complaining about how it'll take days, while Tex says they just need explosives. Let's see, with Tech saying that they could probably do it with some Elysium, but this is when Wrecker finally has a go at Tech for dropping it. Let's see. But Tech finally admitting, okay, I have this one is on me, so I'll try and find some. Let's see if that I've seen the mines and all that stuff. But both Hunter and Wrecker also tell Tech that they need him to go and make amends with Omega as well. But Tech is just saying how she wanted to be alone, not realizing that that's what she said. That doesn't still mean that she can't go. He can't go there and apologize, since he explains back in how she's on the hard time with Echo leaving. So he needs to speak with her. Teku agrees and all that stuff and goes to find her and realizes that Omega is examining some of the blue ice in mineral, and he discovers her, and they both talk, and they both conclude, and it's revealed she has the same idea that Tech has, and they agree to work together and all that stuff. As Tech warns that this is a more pure one found in Zid's mine and all that stuff. So let's see. So he gives her the advice to try and extract as much as he can, which she ends up in a sort of grumpy way, asks if he'd actually trust him to do that, which of course he says yes. Let's see, though, okay, the wiki seems to say that Hunter, because I'm just reading it just to make sure I don't forget any details, but I'm pretty certain that's supposed to be Tech there, but I don't know, the wiki's getting it wrong, but he does believe in the task, and they work together as she gets Tech to get all the empty vials she has. So they manage to get enough, but yeah. But when Omega's trying to get the last sample, and she's desperately trying to get it, ends up calling a slip, and she ends up falling down. And Tex jumps in to rescue her and all that stuff, and end up going into a sort of like a underground aqueduct, which they end up traveling a bit down, but Tech is able to make sure that she's safe. But yeah, I do like how let's see Omega is able to find a solution to their problem and all that stuff. Granted, it's a bit cliche, but I will admit, I do like how she comes to the same conclusion Tech does when he comes up with the idea later and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, I do like how Rekka gives Tech a bit of a thing, and clearly this has been set up for like Tech and Omega to work together, making it clear that this is a Tech and Omega episode, hence why I have the Tech avatar today. I was almost going to do the Rekka one because I figured, it's just going to be just them arguing, but, oh, wait, no, it's actually a Tech and Omega episode dealing with the loss of, of Echo, or at least Echo leaving them and all that stuff. But I do like how, Omega still seems to be a bit better at Tech, just wondering, it's like, you sure you can trust me with all that stuff? But yeah. But I do like how despite, but of course, granted, I do like how Echo's determined to do her mission, but clearly she made a mistake and probably should have asked Echo to drill the last one, but of course, she failed. But I do like how Echo tries to save her. Tech tries to save her. She's slipping and all that stuff, and then jumps in to go rescue her without hesitation. So there's that. I do like how they're sliding for the water, and I do like the details, like how the Omega's hair has been brushed aside, and I think same with Tex, but yeah, well, with what hair he does have, but yeah. But anyway, with like Hunter and Rekka just busy moving the boulders, they end up sensing something, and something's not right, so they have Hunter attempt to attack either Tech and Echo, but gets no answer, so they decide to, investigate down the mines, while after Tech and Omega have gotten swept from a waterfall and all that stuff, they're eventually able to re-establish contact with Hunter, and they tell them that they just need to that what they currently are, and ask them to try and get their gear and all that stuff. But Hunter, I'm getting ahead of myself, as Hunter asks them to try and figure out where they are so they can tell them. As they're standing by and all that stuff. But to discover a light, and the Tech is able to figure out that there's a passage beyond this wall. So inside that they need the Aspium, fuel to blast their way out, and tells Hunter to retrieve their gear and all that stuff, so they can get out of here. And they retrieve it, and I will admit, for a moment, I thought they left behind Tech's helmet, but Rekka is not happy about jumping down and all that stuff. And despite Tech's instructions and also warning them to be careful with minerals, which of course this gets Rekka complaining. So yeah, I do like how Rekka and Hunter just like, okay, they've gone too far. We need to investigate, and tries to contact them, but I do like how Tech is able to find a solution to escape once they see that light there and what they need to do. So yeah, I'd say that was, well, granted, there's not really much to comment on this bit, but yeah. Let's see, it's pretty simple, that bit. But let's see, but we now get to the whole heart of the episode here. As Sorry about that. Tex, let's see, Omega that the others will be joining them soon, and they'll be able to find their way out of the mine. But she still complains about how they lost their ship, and they're stranded on the planet. Nor they're able to contact Echo for help. With Tex saying that they'll be fine by themselves and they don't need their help and all that stuff, and they're able to find the solution like they always do. But this is where Omega finally has a go at, let's see, Tech, upset about how the chain, see about how, things are changing and she doesn't like it, but Tech tries to, not in a reassuring way, but just in a sort of logical way, saying that change is just a natural part of life, really. So there's nothing, you can't really stop it, if you will. But she finally lashes out, saying, "Are you not bothered about Echo leaving?" And but Tech just goes and further continues going about how soldiers adapt to change and all that stuff and how to deal with it. But she says that they're more than just soldiers in the squad; they're also family, and ask why he doesn't act like they are and all that stuff. But this gets Tech to think and what she says as he and reflect on it. And as a result, we end up seeing Tech finally starting to show perhaps, okay, he does actually care, but thinking about how Echo chose a path that was different to them, like Crosshair. And while he respects their decisions and all that stuff, he admits that it can be difficult to understand at times, and admit that he processes this all differently than what others would say. But let's see. While he handles the whole situation different to Omega more in a logical way than her emotional way, that doesn't mean that he still doesn't care like Omega does when they have left. The two are then soon joined by Hunter and Wrecker, who have followed Tech's instructions, really, and the Isium is not destroyed. And I do like how Wrecker just casually just throws Echo's helmet. It's probably a good thing that I haven't forgotten it, because, well, if you've forgotten that thing and you only have the next episode, that's a continuity error. So, yeah. Been unknown. But, yeah. So, let's see. But Omega just teasing Wrecker that it wasn't so bad since they followed the instructions. And you have an Tech ready to shoot the ice return when it's placed, but Wrecker complaining about how why can't he shoot, with Tech saying they need it to be precise, and well, he's best one for that situation, given the fact they also don't have Crosshair technically. And as they shoots it, is able to create a blast hole, which allows them to escape. And which, after escaping, they discover the spaceport is nearby through his micro binoculars, but realizes that it's been deserted, which of course let's see, this gives Wrecker hope that he's able to get some food and supply rations, but with Hunter agreeing to explore, of course, the spaceport. But yeah, this is really this is really the heart of the episode, and this is arguably the best bits of the episode here, with the conversation with Omega and Tech, who still is upset, even despite the fact that they have a plan, still upset about what has happened to the Marauder and the fact they have Echo. But let's see, of course, Tech still being a bit logical, blah, 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 it'll be fine, they don't need them and all that stuff. But let's see, of course, you get Omega saying that they're family and all that stuff, so why is it that he doesn't act like the family? They're more than just soldiers and all that stuff. And we finally get that, and we finally see that Tech does actually care, as he's telling her how Echo made a choice, but also Crosshair. And while he understands and while he respects their decision to do so, he sometimes troubles having understanding of that. So it's clear that it's not just it's not just Echo that he misses. He does, in fact, indeed miss Crosshair, despite the fact that while he understands Crosshair doesn't agree with him like last season. He still does actually care for Crosshair. He just finds it difficult that he's not here, but he just shows it in a different way, and it's fine because he's the clone that thinks by logic, not emotionally and all that stuff. But he does tell Echo, but he does assure Echo that that he does care like her, just not in the same way. This doesn't react differently to her and all that stuff. And I think that's a sort of like mature way of handling it, as Echo's starting to realize what really needs to be said to like Omega and all that stuff. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I mentioned the helmet and the explosion bit, but I do admit it seems like a bit of a homage to like Wrecker's desire to blow things up. But yeah, after all, my favorite moment with Wrecker is still in the Clone Wars Bad Batch arc, in which he goes about, "This is the happiest day of my life," when Anakin gave him a detonator. So yeah, to blow up all those spaceships. But yeah, but I do like how they able to get to the desert, like the spaceport now, and find rations and all that stuff. But yeah, but But when they do arrive at the spaceport, yeah, it's been not only just deserted, it's completely abandoned. No supplies, no tech they can use. No active tech they can use. Well, actually, tech realizes that they can still use a transmitter to communicate with Sid, in which they do. But unfortunately, for them, she's a bit preoccupied, and she tries to get them to figure out herself. You know, I wonder what kind of conversation they might have had with Sid and she learned that Echo's not with them. I wonder if she made a snide remark about one less clone to deal with, but probably best not to, given the fact that it'll probably have upset Omega. But yeah. But Hunter points out that they are here on her mission, but Sid remains, unconcerned about how their ship got stolen. But Omega tries to tell them then they need help. With Tech trying to say how they did help set her problems with Rolo Duran and Drina Melagi and all that stuff back on like some of the last few seasons of the, like what happened recently, and also last season. So yeah. So yeah, but she tries to interrupt them, saying, "Okay, don't bring it up and all that stuff, or don't bring like the entire history." But say she's able to do something. She might be able to do something in a few days, so tells them to wait. But of course, Tech protests that they don't really have enough rations to survive that long. Let's see. But of course, Sid cuts off and leaves them to their fate, or at least leaves them to handle it by themselves, with Wrecker wondering what they will do. But Omega, echoing Tech's words from earlier, saying that they'll figure something out like I always do, as she and her smile as they look on, ending the episode, if you will. Okay, I do like how to make the situation worse, they are stuck here. The whole place is abandoned, so they can't really get any rations and supplies. But luckily, Tech is able to use, and I do like how Tech is able to use the technology that they do have here to try and contact Sid to try and get some transport. But of course, no surprise, Sid is being not helpful, despite the fact that they try to argue that it's her mission, but she's like, "You lost your ship, pals." But I do like how Omega tries to plead for help while Tech reminds him of all the previous favors. That was funny. So yeah, but given the fact that she's got them for a few days, she can't help them for a few days. That's likely that they're not going to be helped by her, so they're going to have to probably figure something out themselves. And I do like how even though there's some tension with like the worry of like not enough rations, I do like how Omega just repeats Tech's words earlier, coming to an understanding with him. getting coming to an understanding of him, and I was able to use his words of advice about how they're able to get through and help each other out and all that stuff. Overall, this is a very good episode, I will admit. At first, I thought it might have been a filler episode, but really, this episode, while the mission itself is a bit of a MacGuffin and a filler thing, it's more just to set up the plot, which focuses more on the character. Let's see, not having too many new characters except for that one thief that steals their ship. But it's more just a episode. This isolation allows the Bad Batch to interact with each other, and I do like how the Ritzy have like the conflict with Tech and Wrecker, arguing about whose fault it is the ship was stolen and about what happened to the fuel. But yeah, but I do like how it's pretty much having the Ritzy clones interact with each other, and also having Omega Ritzy deal with the issue, the fact that Ritzy, she's lost Echo and all that stuff. Well, Echo's not with them anymore, and she's having a hard time coping with it, and is dealing with Ritzy Echo's insensitive remarks until they come to an understanding later where, of course, he also misses them, but yeah. Now, do I think the Marauder's gone for good? Personally, no, and I wouldn't be surprised if next episode they'll get out. But this is another thing about this episode. Let's see, I figured that the two-parters were just like the episodes that were double coming out, but it seems like with the way this episode ends, it seems like we are still continuing on an adventure in this one, so we've probably got this episode is also a two-parter, but that's fine with me. Not every two-parter needs to be released at the same time. But it does lead some speculations and questioning for the next week's episode, provided that they do follow up with it. But yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised that it's the next episode they somehow find the guy who stole the Marauder and take it back. But who knows? For all we know, it could cut to an entirely different adventure for the Bad Batch, which I'll be disappointed if that's the case, because I want to figure out how. I want to see how they figure out how to get off this planet. But let's see if it's something like Echo and Rex mission or another Crosshair mission. I can also deal with that. But yeah, I do like also how Tech just comments about how he also, besides missing Echo, he also misses Crosshair a bit. So yeah, but yeah, it's not just Wrecker that missed him. So yeah, overall, I think this is a solid 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. The only thing I can complain about is the uncreative antelope-like creatures, but otherwise, overall, it's a pretty good episode. I enjoyed what we saw, and I'm looking forward to the follow-up episode next week, which is going to be labeled the Retrieval, which, yeah, I'm pretty certain they're going to retrieve their Marauder from this one, so yeah, it's going to clearly be an episode. So that's clearly going to get their ship back. So that's my guess anyway. But yeah, so yeah. For those who end up listening to this review, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, or even if you're just listening in the background. And I hope that, and I look forward to Ritzy seeing you again when I review the next episode of The Bad Batch, which comes out next week. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Goodbye, everyone. May the Force be with you.